Hey, this is Tony Cook, and in the news today, hot on the heels of the first round, and I do remember Curtis mentioning this, that there would be more GP30 and GP35s coming in HO, and so today I have none other than Curtis Koch from Broadway Limited. Curtis, how are you today?
Tony, doing great. Thanks for having back. Yeah, new GP30s and 35s are on the horizon. Lots to get to today.
You guys are so busy with stuff. I mean,
Yeah, this is the month of announcements. We've got the 30s and 35s we just announced, and we've got two other announcements coming up later on this month. A lot of great stuff coming up with us, and some exciting stuff too. Lots of different railroads we're going to be featuring and talking about today. Yeah, it's a great time to be a model train fan and a model railroader, especially with the different varieties of stuff that we've got coming out.
Absolutely. Well, let's get started first with the GP30s. This is HO scale. These will be Paragon 4 with DCC sound, and then there are stealth versions too that are sound ready standard DC. And I wanted to kick off with these Reddings because I know you and I in talking when that first bunch came out, I think at some point I mentioned, Redding was the first railroad to get Jeep 30s. And
yeah.
What a beautiful paint scheme.
The one particular road number we're making, the 5513, which still survives out east in Pennsylvania, that was the first production model of the GP30 made. And so that is out, or that's one of the road numbers we are featuring. And the fact that it still survives today is really, really cool. So it's kind of cool for those of you who are Redding fans who are looking to add some 4-axle power. That's just right up your alley with the first one GP30 meaning ever made.
Redding had, that paint scheme's beautiful, and the power they bought in the 60s was just all over the place. They had Alco Century 430s, they had GEU boats, so it's a fun railroad to model. Here is that 5513 that you mentioned that I think it's a survivor or remains in this paint scheme. Multiple road numbers on most all of these, I think, but there's a couple of patch or a few uniques, but in general, yes, multiple road numbers, road specific details. And I think you had mentioned to me, again, these are early illustrations subject to revision. And
subject to revision. I know when we posted the announcement, a lot of the Redding guys were like, wait, the fuel tank is too big. We know. We're going through and we're fixing that. So these are just the early artworks just to get the announcement out there. But yeah, the fuel tank will be fixed, and that'll be adjusted because I know the Redding guys said that they had the shorter fuel tank. So we know that we'll go through and fix that. And yeah, we're excited for those to come out.
Awesome.
But the 30s here, the Santa Fe bookend one, another great looking paint scheme, blue and yellow. Not my personal favorite Santa Fe scheme. I love the one we did in the first run, but these still look sharp. They're going to be really great detailed as well. Perfect for your 1960s and 70s era Santa Fe layout.
I see the can antenna up there on the cab roof. Remember, all these are road accurate details on these as well. Always loved the Chinese red Burlington scheme. It was just dynamite. And on this one, I mean, we've got the nose light, the road accurate stuff, the horns placed back there in the fans, and we've got several road names or road numbers for this 900 series Burlington. And you're also doing, this was like that early 70s that at first BN just stenciled a new road number and a small BN reporting mark. So this will be available as well.
Yeah, and those will be really cool because, like you said, right in the 70s when a lot of mergers were happening, railroads were doing a lot of patchworks, and a lot of the basic paint scheme was still there. So if you have a lot of early BN guys that are looking to do some modifications, we're saving them the time. They don't have to renumber anything by buying a CB&Q Chinese red one in the 900 series. They have that right here with the patched version. And there's only, I think, 1 or 2 different versions or road numbers we're doing. So if that is on your radar, we do think you want to get those orders in and make a pre-order. So that way you can get a guarantee that you're going to get that specific version of the GP30. Just because we think those are so unique and not offered very readily, that we think those are going to go pretty quickly. So if that's on your radar, yeah, absolutely. Get your orders in ASAP.
And also at the same time you announce these, you also announce GP35s, and we'll have video on those. And I think Great Northern gets a BN patch, and then the chassis system gets a CSX patch. So again, if you're looking for those odd, look close, because if you just glance at the website, you might not catch it. Oh, that's a patched unit. the original C&O, which, you know, after just looking at Santa Fe, I don't always put those together, that paint scheme was so very similar
I know,
to
and
Santa
the
Fe's
shades of
original.
blue are very similar. The shades of blue are very similar. The yellows are just slightly off, but you wouldn't notice it too closely. But yeah, there are obviously subtle differences in terms of the design of the lettering on the side and everything. But yeah, the C&O ones too. C&O is always a pretty consistent seller of ours. So to bring that into the second run here, we're excited about that. And I know a lot of C&O guys were asking about it the first time when we had the chassis units come out. They were looking for just plain C&O, and we're happy to bring those into this second run.
Really nice. Milwaukee, always a fan favorite. I see the Type AAR, the Type B trucks, the Alco trucks, as many folks call them, and a shorter fuel tank to accommodate that, and the big nail antenna. So it looks like we got a really nice Milwaukee coming in this group, which is fun to see.
Yeah, Milwaukee is another one of those variants that is very unique. So happy to bring those to the second run as well. The particular paint scheme too is also really, really nice on these as well. Really sharp orange with the black on the top. The unique thing about the Milwaukee too is that you'll notice the road number is on the dynamic brake shield there too, which is unique and cool. A unique characteristic that Milwaukee brought to several of their EMD diesels.
Really neat. The light work you're going to have to do on these.
The light packages.
Yes.
SP is just known for this. So these are going to be really cool too. These lasted, I know a lot of people, when they think of SP and they think of Bloody Nose, they think of tunnel motor units, but these don't get remembered a lot. These were several of their units that they had. They didn't have as many as the tunnel motors, just because you wouldn't have found these typically over like Donner Pass compared to other parts of the SP system. But yeah, these mainly were in Southern California from what our research was pulled, in the West Colton area, serving that yard and serving a lot of the freights out of Southern California. The GP30s themselves were just huge workhorses. So the light packages on both the front and the back are there. The horn and bell location on the top of the cab is there as well. Lots of great details on those as well. And of course, they got the full-size fuel tank underneath there too. So these are going to be great. SP modelers are going to want every single one that they can get their hands on. And again, these are ones, since we haven't offered these previously, these are ones that we think are going to go fast. So if you are looking to add to your SP roster of any kind, get your orders in on these as well, because we think those will go fast. The first run, we're about 100% sold out here from us locally at Broadway Limited. We're completely sold out of the GP30s. You can still find some of them from the first run at some of your stores and retailers, but they went quick. So if you're looking to add to your SP fleet, now is the time to get your orders in, because those are going to be going fast.
Fun stuff, and that's a really nicely done piece there. Wow, this was the one though. When I saw this is why I had to bug you to do a video with me. You know, I love these kind of paint schemes. This Air Force one, and then there's another one we're going to show that's a TrainWorld exclusive. I've already had emails on like, wow, look at the, yes, that's very cool. That is, I love this so fun stuff. Yeah,
so striking. I love the emblem on the back of the rear of the locomotive, the star emblem there. It looks so cool. We had 4 different versions of this, and I voted for this one because I thought this was the coolest looking one. It just looks so cool. I would love to see a prototype version of that somewhere. I don't know if the Air Force has a railroad line of some sort, but if they did, I would encourage them to do a scheme like this, because that would be awesome.
This is so cool. Yes, this is in the regular release group, and then our folks in TrainWorld Trainland are going to do the famous shark mouth. I think there are shark teeth, they're calling it G30. And I already have had an email from someone saying, what's the significance of 299? And it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure if there is, or if the number was just picked, or
I think the number was just picked. I don't have that knowledge off the top of my head. I was only involved in picking the Air Force one, so that was the one I was more excited about. But this one, I think TrainWorld has done with us, or versions of it with us before. I know they're doing a similar version with the SD70 Aces and a few other schemes like that too. So I know that they were heavily involved in kind of influencing which scheme that they want in terms of what recent fantasy scheme success that they've had. But I think it's just cool. I would love to see an actual sample to see what the shark teeth looks like on the unit, because those are just so cool. And then I like the camo green too.
Oh,
That's
exactly.
the thing with these fantasy schemes, is they're so fun to have like these things, and it makes the hobby fun too. I know a lot of guys like the prototypical stuff, and I do too. But when you have a fun side of it, it's all in great fun to have a version like this. So yeah, again, same thing. You go to TrainWorld to get your order in for those. I know Ken Jr. would be happy to take your order for you and get you with any information that you need on them. Great guys over there at TrainWorld, and they help us out a lot. And it's always great working with them on these exclusives.
And I think that one is Paragon 4 only. The others, I think, all have availability both in Paragon 4 with DCC sound, and then if there's multiple numbers, the stealth version has a single road number, and it'll have a speaker in it, and it's ready to drop in a decoder if you did want to convert it, correct?
Yes, correct. Speaker's already included, so whichever aftermarket sound decoder you want to use, or if you don't even like sound, you still want to have DCC installed, you can. It's a very simple plug and play is essentially what we like to use the words for. But yeah, any aftermarket sound decoder you want to use, you just plug it in underneath the shell, put the shell back on. Some of the lighting functions might be different depending upon which decoder you do use. But yeah, any aftermarket sound decoder you use, it's perfect. You'll be able to use the sounds right off the bat, and you'll be good to go. Plug and play. Just keep it simple.
And these were announced at the beginning of March. What is the deadline on reservation, and what's the expectation on arrival?
Yeah, so we're expecting these to arrive later this year, some probably around the summertime of this year. Order deadline set for May 23rd of this year, 2024.
Wow. Awesome. If you want to know more, go to Broadway Limited's website, ask your hobby dealer. But this is the new run of HO-scale GP30s. Lots of exciting stuff. Curtis, thanks for taking some time out of your day and sharing these with us. Amazing group.
Tony, thanks for having me. We'll talk to you soon.